Good evening everyone, and welcome back to the continuation of a tutorial going through Omnisphere and what it can actually do. In the last video we looked at what the wavetable oscillators can do within Omnisphere. This time we're going to start looking at the sample layer. So the sample layer is activated by going into your patch layer. I forgot what it was called for a minute then. Patch layer, and clicking on sample, and it comes up straight away as empty. So that's the sound you get, the sound of silence, nothing. To activate or to get a sample in there, you just click on the blank bit where it says empty, and I'll just keep to the Spectrasonics wavetables. There's about 400 of them to choose at, so there's one or two you can go at. So you've got all these, and as I said in my last video, how to use this wonderful search engine within Omnisphere. I've got a video for that which is linked, should be coming across the top now, and that will teach you how to actually use all these different categories, types, sources and timbres, and how to actually get the to the sound you want. So without further ado, I'm going to choose, let's see, I want the one that's the burning piano, one of the most famous sounds. That's the Spectrasonics guys did in Omnisphere, was they actually set a piano, as you can see in this picture, a piano alight, an acoustic piano, and captured the strings and everything burning as it disintegrated. Absolutely insane. There's a video on YouTube somewhere where they show you how they actually did it. Mad, but thank you very much Spectrasonics for a great sounding sample. On its own, it doesn't sound brilliant on its own until you start faffing around with the filters and stuff, but on its own it sounds like this. Yeah, if you hold the sound, you can actually hear it sort of disintegrating. Absolutely bizarre. But anyway, there we go. I'll take you through the first bit of this screen for oscillator here. You can alter the timbre of the sound. Now the way the timbre works, if you use crush, we'll go for crush first. It sounds like nothing's happening, but that's because it's not a continuous control in the sense of you hold the sound down and faff with a filter like you can do with cutoff, etc. It only activates when you press the key. So what you can do, as you probably, if you watched my last video, you probably saw what I did was just quickly throw an LFO in there, make it smooth, we'll sync it, and we'll go twice and make it short depth, and we get so every time you hit the key you get something completely different. So what crush does is exactly what it says on the tin. It's like a bit crush effect, gives you a bit of distortion. Now shift just gives you microtonal changes in sort of the pitch, and sort of adds to the left, it makes it darker, to the right makes it brighter. And again, if you want to change that to sample timbre, yeah. And again, it only works on key press. If I held the key down, it doesn't do anything. So it only works on the key press, the changes in timbre. So if I move it over here and just see, nothing happens, but if I keep pressing the key, then it activates. So you can sort of like make every note you play sound slightly different each time. I've gone to the extreme of the LFO. What I would probably do is change the depth to very, very minimal, bring it down to middle like that, and then bring the source right in so it only moves. You see the white line there, just moves slightly. That's probably how I would do it. So there's only subtle change every time you press a note. Just mute that for a minute, and then start. Speaks for itself. What we're doing here is going to start. It's where the sample starts. So at the moment we're starting at the very beginning of the sample, so we're capturing the attack sound. But say I don't want to do that, I want to get rid of that harsh attack sound. I'll just move the start in a bit. So that's great if you want to turn something with an attack into a bit more of a paddy sound. So you just get rid of that attack and you just, so it makes this. So it gets rid of that attack. What you can do, which is quite prevalent in a lot of music at the moment, is reverse. So you can actually reverse the sample. And if you noticed up there in the top left hand corner, it does it in real time. It turns, it says it's complete. See what I mean? Just reverse the sample. So you go the suck at the end of it. I won't try and recreate that again. And the great thing about this is this isn't all you have for manipulating the basic of part of the oscillator. You can actually go even deeper, and it's quite hidden, this, and I'm gonna have to own up, I only discovered it not that long ago actually, that if you click on the plus sign you get this screen as well, and some of the sound sources have more than one channel to play with, so you can actually play around with the volume of each channel that makes up that one sample. You'll see a section here that says legato. Now, as far as I'm aware, Omnisphere doesn't have any legato sounds at the moment, and that may change in the future, and in which case then this will mean something, actually do something. At the moment I can't seem to find a way of it actually affecting any sounds. So if you come across a sound source that does work with legato, please leave a message below in the comments and let me know what sound source it is you played with, so I can have a look myself. We then have release noise. Now the reason why I chose this one is because it's got a bit of a release sound to it, and you can change the release. So you've got all these sort of release samples. So if I choose, I want something, we want a slap release. Now it doesn't sound like anything, but if I change something on here, because this is release, now to actually hear the effect of it, it's linked to the amp envelope on your front screen. So if you just come out of the sound source zoom, and I'm just going to ramp the release up. So that's with it on, that's with it off, and it's just going to play the sound straight through. If I put purple rain release, I get absolute cuts it off. You hear like slight click at the end of that one. Let's try another one. Okay, it seems that came up. Chimatron, sorry. Chimatron, where did that come from? Chimatron Vibraharp. And what we can do is alter it by this as well. Make it more piano. So we've got that. And if we want the release to follow the keyboard notes, we just keep tracking on. If you take tracking off, it doesn't anymore. You can have pedal noise, so if I don't take the pedal noise off, now what you can do is also change your sustained damper, so it doesn't work above a certain key. So I'm going to go for something like, I say, C3. So that works. That doesn't quite work. Why does that not work? Let me have a think. Ah, it's because I need, yeah, because this is linked to Keyscape. So what? That's why I'm using an Omnisphere basic Spectrasonic. So if I just go to Keyscape library, and I'll use an LA custom. Let that load up, and when it's loading up, we just go into the oscillator. Now let's try again. So notes above that selected pitch will ring out. Notes below it don't. And this might be a good way of actually just going back to this, and you get a I've gone wrong. Sorry about that. Just going to go back into that. Just checking to make sure that release was up. So we've got the full effect, and we've got hardcore release. So I just want to put a piano in. So this is a way of actually going even further to manipulate the sound. So I'm just going to take that release down a bit so we're not ringing out forever and ever and ever a day. On what you can also do is, if your computer's not coping with the amount of samples you've got playing, you can thin them out, which is an absolutely fantastic thing to do. So you can change the round robin, so you can have at most 2 round robins, 16 rounds. So round robin is basically when you press the note, there's a subtle difference. So not every time you press the note is the same, which like a real instrument. So I've got quite a beefy PC, so I'm okay to leave these at no limit. But if you've got a less spec PC, that's sort of like a Core i5 or something like that, you might want to start thinking about cutting down the round robins and your velocities. Legato doesn't really do much at the moment, like I say, because I couldn't find anything that actually legato samples in Omnisphere at this moment in time. You can also limit the pitch as well. So if you're only ever playing the notes of a C major scale in your piece, then you can literally eliminate all the black keys from your loading. So that will save some sample RAM and memory. So, and you can also begin training, so you can actually play in the notes that you want to use, and that's all it'll use. It won't use any more. So that is a quick run through of the sample layer, sample oscillator layer for an Omnisphere. I was going to go through FM ring modulation and wave shape in this one, but I think I've rambled on for long enough, so we'll pick those up in the next video. If you enjoyed the video and found it useful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.